Alright, and are we ready? And we're live. Welcome everyone to rounds 4 and 5 of the HAT Format 2022 Championships. Today, the games now are starting to get very intense as players are beginning to drop out. We have a lot of matches to get through today, so let's just get right into it. Here's our first game, Inspeed versus Dragon. And let's see who's going first. Looks like Inspeed. And we're seeing a Geargia mirror match. Seems like a pretty decent hand for Geargia's. Wiretap is... Double opened wiretap is actually going to be very huge here in this matchup. However, Inspeed going first is going to... His wiretap is going to end up mattering a whole lot more. Right, the Geargia Classic, set 4 and pass. Both players have Torrential Tribute live, which is going to be crazy amounts of impactful. And they follow each other with the set 4 pass. Are we going to see a Geargia gear on in phase? Yes, we are. Dragon literally not being able to respond because he went second. What an amazing top deck for Inspeed, too. Unfortunately, he still has to play around the 4 back row. Let's see how this goes. Immediate Abyss Dweller. Does he think he's playing against Mermails? Interesting. I think that stops his own effects from proccing. Oh, Dragon's just letting him waste resources here. Very unique game 1. And here's the Gear Giant X. And we're going to MST the Gear. And then into a Torrential. Did he miss timing on that? No, I think he's good. Ooh. Double wiretap yet again. Gotta love HAT format. Yugioh's especially. And with all that, nothing has happened. Soul Charge top deck, but there's nothing in Dragon's graveyard that's going to get him out of this. He's probably just going to have to normal summon and make Alucard. Yep. And the Torrential. And now we have very efficiently gotten to the top deck wars that HAT is known for. Soul Charge being used very efficiently there. Wind up Zen mains being a very defensive play. Great top deck from Inspeed. Gonna allow him to try to go back into one of his own plays. And he appears to be using Geargia armor for the complete reset. Inspeed is thinking about whether or not he wants to use Geargia Accelerator. And he's not. Going to just take it slow. A Soul Charge top deck. That is gigantic. If Inspeed plays this right, the game's over here. 2 Accelerator, 1 Soul Charge. Insane. Yugioh X. Yep. Didn't even have to see the Soul Charge. It was already over. We got a pretty good hand here for both the players. Double Black Horn of Heaven is going to be very hard to deal with. Especially in Geargias. Or if anyone has the hand to deal with it, it's definitely Inspeed. Very powerful stuff. We'll see whether or not Maxi was the correct side decking choice. Okay. Not sure the benefits of waiting with that MST. Seems like a bit of an odd call. And we're going to lock down that Geargia armor. Inspeed thinking if he wants to use the Maxi here. And here it is. Dragon has to decide whether or not to commit. And I don't think he's going to. He's going for a full reset here. No Geargia gear in the in phase. Interesting. It's breakthrough skilled. Both players denying the Geargia armor from each other. Accelerator special summons. And another Geargia X. Alright. Inspeed coming out again with his backup plan. And it's just going to get Black Horn of Heaven again. Unfortunately for Dragon, what should be a winning scenario in almost every case isn't, because Soul Charge is at 3 in this format. A new problem. Inspeed is running out of Gear Gigants. He specifically brought out 2 of the level 3s so he can make Alucard. Very interesting. Alright, there's the first Gear Gigant. Gonna pull out a Geargia Mark II. Oh, that's not quite right. It's corn. And there we go. Going for the full reset here. Personally, at some point, I would have made Daigusto Emerald to reset the graveyard. But he's not losing at all here. We're going to need to see a Dark Hole from Dragon to come back here. Bottomless ain't going to do it. What a very quick match for round 1. Very insane. Very powerful. Okay, for game 2. Oh, sorry, that is still game 1. My mistake. Molson versus Sylvan. I believe Sylvan Spiders are one Sylvan player this event we haven't seen much of because we haven't been able to get those replays in. Seems like a pretty good opening hand. This being Majesty's Fiend. Sylvan Charity and Soul Charge. Really good opening here. We need to see either a Lone Fire Blossom or a setup. Como Shroom should do the job here. Ooh, that's a full setup on the top deck. He's going to set Como Mushroom. Como Mushroom. And just set up fully here. And the Vanities is a backup plan, so we can stop any artifact shenanigans. Molson definitely needs to compulse on this Como Mushroom, or he will risk losing the game next turn. Nope, he's going to let it go through. Very bold move against Sylvans. Any is on top. I can check that. Let me check who's in the lead right now. Currently, this is actually one of the top games. Molson is leading, as is Nikududo, including Tiger Soldier. We'll see more how this develops going into round 6. But as of right now, it's actually pretty interesting top 8. And there's the Sylvan Coal Mushroom. It did get negated, though. But I'm not sure how well that's going to do. Going into double Miracle Fertilizer. Gonna see the immediate bottomless. Yep. That might have actually slowed him down a bit. Pretty impressive. I am a bit biased because it's my favorite deck, Sylvans. Molson's playing a very dangerous game here. Carding for value. Trusting he can handle the Sylvans. And it seems like he might get lucky with how Sylvans are being... How unfortunate Sylvans are handling themselves. Oh, alright. Sylvan Sage Quota. That's going to give him a Sylvan Charity proc. And we're seeing the crazy commit to Charity. Alright. Sylvan Spider really having to go out of his way to force a combo here. But it's just not working with how this... It's not working through all this back row. Sylvans, in your opinion, are the strongest deck in the format? I think they're definitely better than people give them credit for. They have a lot of problems, but they have one of the most explosive, ceilings in the game. Like, outside of Mermails, which I think are Sylvans, but more consistent. All right, and here we go for a rank 7. Ooh. Molson prepping for a titanically large artifact play. Let's see if it'll be enough. Artifact Sanctum. Vanities. Alright, that was a pretty simple 1-for-1 here. The Ignition is still live for a double pop. And Sylvan Spider just choosing to pass here. And here it comes. Only using one. Interesting. No double rank 5. Molson being very good at this. Making a very hard call here of playing very slowly and just grinding out the Sylvan deck. And there's the Pleiades. And I believe that is game here for Sylvan Spider. Is Soul Charge going to be enough? Sylvan Spider going to fully wall up here. Using the on-summon effect of Peacekeeper. We're going to get to stack the top 3 cards of the deck. I'm also going to show how hard or obnoxious Sylvans are to play on Dueling Book. Princess Sprout's effectively another Princess Sprout. And that's going to be a rank 7. Or yeah, the High Sylvan Arbiter. Just going to get deleted here by Pleiades. And that would be the game. Pretty brutal game there. Showing how even a crazy combo deck like Sylvan's is no match for just a properly done out back row. Right. Very unfortunate, surprisingly unfortunate hand here. Sylvan Spider should have the nuts in a good situation, but since Molson has Max C, there's really not a lot we can get here. And a whiff off the top with the Hermitry. Molson, once again, probably going to be opting to take it slow. Ooh, double DD Crow in hand. This is not boding well. Sylvan Spider probably going to need to get lucky here, and he's not getting it off the initial draw, or the initial Hermitry effect. And there's the Dark Hole. A blaster being drawn is pretty big here. And here's the first DD Crow. And here's the second. Very unfortunate. We can't seem to attempt to get to the Lone Fire again, but I'm wondering how it's going to be handled if it just gets double cycloned. Sylvan Spider 2 is going to ignore the Miracle Fertilizers to set up for Lone Fire plays. And to Sage Quota? Ah, I see. Mount Sylvania, we're going to set up for a rank 7. Very smart move from Sylvan Spider to play around, not using his Miracle Fertilizer, understanding that Molson is playing Cat and is very likely to start deleting his back row. And Sylvan the High Order. Absolutely nuts card. Potential bounce like 3. And we're going to hit 2. Not only that, we're hitting 2 of the best ones. We're going to revive a Lone Fire Blossom. And we're going to get the special level 1 from deck. Sylvan Spider probably going to try to wind up for game here. Unfortunate whiff there. Amazing top deck there. Ooh, that is a... Yeah, you can't use that. I'm going into Blaster here. Ooh, I don't know if that was the right call to banish Coma Mushroom. If he wanted to use Spore, that was his only way of going into Leo. Molson opting to wall up here. Trying to come out of the situation. Barely living. Game 2 is for Sylvans. Let's see how Sylvan Spider acts going second. Pretty standard hand here from Molson. We're going to be seeing some rank 5 plays with the artifacts. And bottomless trap hole. To stop any Hermitry shenanigans, Sylvan Spider would throw out. Double call is pretty big. Oh, he's going to keep both of them in hand. And we're seeing a rank 5 play. We're not even going to get to use Morale Attack's pop skill. Just to make a rank 5 to start putting pressure on Sylvan Spider. Yep, Pleiades. And we're just going to bounce it. It is a Cherub Sprout, which is a bit of a bait. And I think that might be game here. Yep. Sylvan's breaking once again. Not really anything that can be done. Okay, let's get into game 3. Or the third game we have today. Ultra Plant versus Swagger. Mermails versus HAT. Seeing what's a very strong hand for Mermails with the Emptiness in hand. Along with the Abyss Spear. And seeing this, Swagger is going to go all in here with the Abyss display. Ooh, tons of good options here from Polyduality. In my opinion, Traptrix Romello is probably optimal, but Ultra Plant could be thinking very far ahead here with the Soul Charge. Traptrix Romello start building up the engine with Bottomless Trap Hole, and he can synergize with Call the Haunted already in his hand. Gonna see that set 4. That's so unanimous in this format. Abyss Spear and in phase. That was a bit of a mistiming. It doesn't really matter. Pike skill. Gonna search Gen X Undyne. Ooh, into the Dark Hole. Is Nope. Linde is once per turn. Interesting play by Swagger not to do it in the end phase, but... There's no way this normal summon is good. And it is. Dragoon, search controller. Gonna search the marksman to start eating out the back row. Very interesting game state here. Call Haunted was going to be used to rely Mermail to pop the Vanities, but Vanities is just going to trigger in response. Very interesting. Breakthrough skill, probably the best option here. Ultra Plant needs to see some form of removal, or he is in a terrible spot. Was Fragger just free to beat him down to beat him to death with a Gen X Undying? Ooh, uh-oh. That would be the out. Well, Swagger is free to try to commit here. And he's going to go for it with the Abyss. Yeah, the Abyss display. Can his mono meta and hat format? Yeah, basically. A little bit. You might see Swagger take this game off of Ultra Plan here. Setting the card D. Ultra Plan is that low on resources. Genex Undyne getting used again. One of the most insane starters this format. Uh-oh. Marksman gonna trigger the Artifact Morale attack. Giving a bit more life to Ultra Plant stall here. Very tight game. Mecha Whip Engineer. Honestly, Alucard seems like the better option. But I suppose Swagger doesn't want to play into artifacts. That looks like it might be the game. Ultra Plant gonna have to soul charge here just to live. Just for one. It's not a bad... It's not a terrible play, but it's not going to save him. Game 1 for Mermails with Swagger. Not the best hand here for Swagger. It'll get the job done, but he's going to have to take a turn to really set up with Abyss Spear. The real good hand is coming from Ultra Plant here, getting to search both bottomlesses, or both trap holes. One bottomless, and one Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare. Ooh. Artifact Sanctum, without a doubt the best call here. Now, when your opponent searches Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare, that means without a doubt they have bottomless trap hole in hand. There's very limited situations here in which bottomless, is not better than trap hole nightmare. And your opponent playing Mermails is definitely not one of them. The only real benefit here, the only real thing going for Swagger is that he has the DD Crow to stop the artifacts from resolving. This is Malago for that nice double pop of the search. Gonna get one set card and one face-up card. Ooh, that is definitely the worst possible thing he could hit. Let me see the DD Crow to save. But the Call of the Haunted in response. Ultra Plant did not come here to mess around. And he still has both trap holes set too. Double Abyss Spear is good, but I'm not sure if it's that good. We're going to go right into the... Zenmach. We're going to pop 2 back row on the field. I do believe that is game here for Swagger. Yep. Swagger being down to 1 Abyss Spear. Swagger using his life points to buy a few extra turns to maybe top deck his way out of this. Abyss Lind getting bottomless trap hold. Ooh. I don't think Abyss Sturge is going to get him out of this, but let's see him try. And we're just walling up here. Dianair on the comeback. Ooh. And we're just making Silent Honor Arc as a big destruction-proof beatstick. Alright. Some great plays from both players here. Really nuts game. Alright. Decent enough opening hand here. Let's see what the draw is. Controller not going to do too much. Ultra Plant opening the bottomless trap hole again. Are we going to see a similar blowout against Swagger? Getting rid of the Solemn. No Abyss Spear. Interesting. Oof. And that's gonna hurt. Seeing a full lineup here from Ultra Plant. Oh no, Pod Duality is going to be grabbing that DD Crow. Just ending Swagger's whole career here. Artifact Ignition. Oh, we're going to pop the Abyss Spear? Or better yet, we're going to set up for a full Beagle Tack play for a rank 5. That's going to put Swagger on a time limit to solve this problem. This spike is a good start. Let's see if it resolves. Atlantean Marksman going to be a very risky play here, but it looks like it's going to pay off. Ultra Plant going to resolve that. Going to wait for in-phase for a bit of a safer play. And here it is. The full combo. Really showing why artifacts are so devastating. Being able to go into the best extra deck monsters in this format. And getting removal while doing it. Double Cyclone as a top deck isn't too good. But it's not the worst thing ever either. Swagger asking the important questions to his opponent. Are you Ultra Plant because of the archetype? Or do you really like weed? And Ultra Plant responds with both. But the first deck was Tengu Plants. Pretty based. And are we going to see the Pleiades? Ooh, Durandal. Yep. Risky move to use its hand effect here. Looks like it's going to kind of pay off. Well, we've already gone through both bottomlesses, so. Oh, he's playing Deep Dark Trap Hole. We haven't seen this card yet. When a level 5 or higher effect monster is special summoned, banish that level 5 or higher effect monster. I believe this is one of the side deck trap holes. Although honestly, with how many Mermails players we've been seeing, I would consider it a main deck. Or it should be a main deck in this particular tournament. Swagger having the cards in hand to actually come back here. He just has to play around that Durandal to come around this. Preemptively Soul Trojan. Gonna become pop 1 back row. And Durandal, technically, what they're arguing about is that Durandal, when something is, negated, in air quotes, with Durandal, it doesn't negate the activation because you still tried to activate Soul Charge. It just, the effect wasn't Soul Charge. Really interesting. Call the Haunted getting massive value here. Top taking the Max C. Ultra Plant just going to beat around for 3,200 damage. Let's see what rank 4 he makes. Giant Hand? No. Abyss Dweller. Better Giant Hand against Mermails. Ooh, that Maxi being really rough. That Artifact Sanctum being even more rough. Oh, the reason Swagger he misread Durandal. Durandal is basically an Omni-Negate, yeah. Very rough spot for Swagger here. Going into our next game here. MMF versus Jay's back. So these... And Jay's back. Gonna go first here. Yugiohs versus... Infernities. Very terrible hand from Infernities here. Archfiend will do something. Ooh, into the Maxi. That Maxi just going to end Infernity's turn. No matter the format, taking the Maxi challenge is always a bad idea. Trap Stun would be useful in almost every other hand against Geargia. But since Jay's back drew only monsters, it's not going to get a big chance to shine. And we're seeing the hand shenanigans. Hand's absolutely being a devastating board wipe here. At the cost of a minimal 200 life points, we've managed to stop Infernity's whole plan. That trap stun's gonna hurt here. Actually letting MMF get value off the soul charge. Archfiend gonna get a search. Infernity Launcher. And here's the first lavable chain of what's bound to be many. Infernity's absolutely being nuts here. And we're going to get that search, that Archfiend search. Necromancer getting that barrier. And there we are with her. Searching of massive disruptions. What? Oh, they would crash into each other because of Archfiend Pal Labyrinth. There's a lot of Lavavel chain going on here. Interesting. That's 2 hands. Let's see what they actually can get out of this. Immediately Infernity buried. Things are looking very good for Infernaries here. And we're going to see a usage of Corn's effect to send to graveyard, not destroy. Jay's back is not going to be disrupted here. But he still has to out this crazy board. It's going to be a big ask here. We're opting straight into the rank 4. C101, probably the best call here. Yep, there's the top deck he set up last turn with the Necromancer. But we did have the DD Crow ready. This game is going very close. And now, you're going to pop off. Jay's back pointing out the being kind of toxic here, that saying any trap would stop Infernities, which is true. But man, I think there were some misplays on MMF's part, but it doesn't help that Yugioh did have the specific hand needed to out the board here. Ooh, the XYZ universe is a bit mean. I'll read this card for those of you that don't know. Target 2 face-up XYZ monsters on the field. Send both monsters to the graveyard. Then special summon 1 XYZ monster from your extra deck, except another monster whose rank is equal to or 1 less than the combined original ranks of those 2 XYZ monsters. And if you do, attach this card to it as material. For the rest of this card, or the rest of the turn after this card resolves, your opponent takes no damage. And there's the Max C. This is a much better hand here. Surprisingly, thanks to the double trap stun, MF is going to be able to go off here. Basically unimpeded. Oh, that's a move. Trap stun. Alright then. Oof. Very interesting play of just... Alright, that was something. That was the interaction I just saw. Very strong opening here with the Soul Charge. Top decking in the Arsenal. Setting up an even bigger Soul Charge. And Jay's opting to go all in here. Eating the Knight. Yeah. What a blowout against Infinities. Not having a good showing at all this event. Very unfortunate. Right now we're going to be going into our round 5 games. Hold on just a second here. Do I have any games I've missed? Nope, this is all the games I have for round 4. And we're going right into round 5. Hold on just a second here, guys. And here we are. Round 5, Ultra Plant versus Indika. I will never get better at pronouncing people's names. I'm really sorry. Indika gonna opt to go first here. Pretty solid hand as far as Yugiohs go. Just gonna see the pretty interesting. Indika not going for the slow play here. We're going full steam ahead. Not even setting the bottomless trap hole. Alright. Looking like we're going to be adding that artifact ignition here. Going for a pretty simple card D pass. Building up that hand value. Why no set? Yeah, I'm really curious about the reasoning behind not setting either. Maybe Indika is scared of Cat's like crazy amount of just back row hate I've seen in his list. Which is a way to handle it, I guess. But I don't think is optimal. It's definitely the correct call for Ultra Plant to pop this. And that seems quite what he's going into. Or exactly what he's going into. Is he going to set now? But a bit more confident to set this time. Now it's a little too late. We'll see in a big artifact ignition Beagle Tack play coming up in Ultra Plant's future. Chain Whirlwind. Activate only when a card on the field is destroyed by a card effect. Select 2 spell and traps on the field and destroy them. As I was saying, Ultra Plant is running a crazy amount of back row removal. My breakthrough skill is going to be pretty important here against all the artifacts. Does Geargia Auto Mark II resolve? It does. Alucard is an incredibly questionable play here. So the Silverback Mountain probably would be a bit better here. Yep. Very strong card. We're going to basically get rid of some back row without actually getting rid of some back row. How important is the MST on Call the Haunted going to be? Probably, I'd say, pretty important. Since we have the breakthrough skill in Grave, we can stop the first attempted artifact. However, stopping the second attempted artifact is going to be a lot harder to do, and that's what the MST is for. Call Haunted. Problem is Chain Whirlwind might stop everything. Yeah, there's the MST. And we're going to get that revive off with Soul of the Silver Mountain. Not something you see too often, but really showing off how utility-based this format is. As there is a situation for everything. Popping his own back row here. There's the breakthrough skill. And because of that, we've been able to slow down Ultra Plant's strategy pretty much in its tracks here. Ooh, but that Soul Charge, though, is going to be very rough. Indika has been left without any back row to stop the potential Pleiades. Melting at the Soul Silver Mountain. It's going to be a pretty tight game here. You get X. Setting up for a search. You have a crazy amount of potential plays here. I believe the correct option is to search Yugioh Mark II. So even if he bounces the normal summon, we still have a target to special summon Geargia Accelerator. Yep, and he's going to do just that. Now let's see if... Okay, this time he is preemptively special summoning one of the accelerators. That's going to be an Alucard. Very risky move here. I would have just remade Soul of the Silver Mountain. Ooh. Good call. That was... really clever here. A really good luck. But that is going to trigger the Chain Whirlwind, so it was actually bad luck. Perhaps what we should have seen first is the Mind Control. And what are we going to pop here? Yugioh Accelerator. Oh, Geargia X mixes timing. Oh, I guess you can only use one here because they say... Yeah, it's a win, not if effect. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate spot here. Pleiades probably going to be the bouncing right now. No. Ultra Plant is holding on to that one Pleiades bounce. And he's seeing straight through that back row. And that is the second soul charge we've seen here. Man. What a crazy, crazy game here. And let's see what... Second Pleiades. Alright. Double bounce going to be basically impossible to get through here. Was there a reason why he couldn't use mind control there? Not really. I think he should have preempted it on the Pleiades. Even if it does just get rid of the bounce, that's still better than nothing here. And that would be game. Yeah. Protecting the Mermails. Very unfortunate. Finish's Train might put in some work. There is technically still hope for Indika. It's not looking good, though. Mermails going to be searching out that bottomless trap hole. Alucard getting beat over. Ooh, this is an interesting question. I think he has to let it go through, or let the attack go through. Sylvan reprints will also be nice. Sylvans are usually pretty cheap in my opinion. Like, the most expensive card is Hermitry, is just $3 or $4. But what Sylvans need isn't reprints, they need new support. The Link monster they got is really good. It's just more generic plant than an actual Sylvan card. Wow, we are seeing an amazing, like, wall off here. That is a very interesting predicament here with Ultra Plant. Card D. And we're going to card D. He's not even going to interact with Indika's big wall here of Geargia's. You know, oh yeah, I do hear that in a lot of countries outside of America and Europe, it gets very hard to get Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I know some people in South America who really struggle to get cards. What should be cheap, it's just a bit of a nightmare to get. Ooh, Gigiano Mark II. What a good search. It's going to risk both a rank 4 and a massive kickoff with the Geargia accelerators. Interesting. We're going to opt for a rank 3 here instead of 2 rank 4s. Okay, we've been through 2 Gigan X's. Luckily, Lightsworn cards are very easy to get. Well, I'm glad. Lightsworn is a very fun deck to play this format. MST being a little bit risky. Luckily, Ultra Plant's back row is really good for it. Oh, he's not playing Acid. We're going to see the Fiend. Oh, what is... Interesting. Rhapsody and Berserk. Alright, then. I'm going to see Rhapsody banish 2 cards. And Rhapsody and Berserk really is a good card. And here's the Fiendish. Wow, what a close game and an amazing comeback here from Indika. Playing through 2 soul charges. Wow. Chain Whirlwind doing so much. Now that is a hand optimized to go against Geargia. Noble Mana Crossout, going to be getting some value here. Although maybe not. And it could open hands, which is likely to be his main play. Acid Trap all. Slower start from Ultra Plant, but going to be very insane going into the later game. Maxi looked kind of dead against Plant Stack. It can be. Hat and Cat as decks don't need the special summon. It's one of the reasons why Maxi is not a popular main deck choice in every deck. Why no sets? You have to... I don't get it. I don't know what Indika is doing. And we saw him search the Acid Trap hole. Okay, Indika, if you're watching right now, please explain what the reasoning is behind waiting to set our traps. Yeah. Could be that. The play around that is since you saw him search the Acid Trap hole, we don't set a monster. Bottomless just going to end this man's career. I think Ultra Plant's going to get this one. Black Horn of Heaven, as well as they call the Haunted. Oh, that was a move. I guess we're doing it so we can set up the Mermails to pop one back row. Ooh. And there's the Soul Charge. Gonna be using Indika's own level 4 for a rank 4. Definitely not looking good for Indika. That's an oof. And there's the Giant Hand. Wow. Giant Hand, despite being one of the best negates in the game, not doing a lot this format. Ultra Plant top decking another Soul Charge. And he's just opting to let Indika spin his wheels for a bit. Wow. If I had to guess, the best option... Giga Arsenal. We're going to be taking it slow here. Why did he make Giant Hand? It was a greedy play to try to stop any potential effects Indika could make, like Geargia Armor. Giant Hand is very good, just being a monster negate. It stops a lot, but it definitely doesn't stop a Dark Hole. Okay. Alright, we're getting somewhere here. Indika's fighting his way back. Ultra Plant has to make the call whether or not he wants to Soul Charge now and try to wall up a bit. And he does. Going all in here on a Soul Charge. Popping that breakthrough skill. Geargiano. We're on mid draw here. Definitely helps. Yugioh Accelerator. Alright. And we have the full accelerator setup. Indika has to decide whether or not he wants to play around Torrential Tribute, which he is definitely not going to do. The first Gear Giant X comes out. Gonna add Geargia Accelerator right back to hand. Ultra Plant really not having a good day right now with this Geargia Accelerator wombo combo. And we're seeing this scoop by Ultra Plant. Wow. Dark Hole really did come in clutch here. Black Ship of Corn definitely being my favorite XYZ from this format. Just being able to do 1,000 damage without destroying. Absolutely insane. Let's go to the next game. And this is the feature match of round 5. He should have made Sylvan Honor Arc. Yeah, if we were playing, if Ultra Plant was playing around destruction or removal, Silent Honor Arc is the better way to go. What? This is Tiger Soldier versus Extra Power. Two very good players. Bujins versus Cat. Why'd he make Giant Hand if he had Blackhorn? Fair point. It was a really aggressive play from Ultra Plant. And he did get punished for it. Bujin's getting destroyed by back row removal. Oh, we're going to see that Torrential Tribute ad, most likely. Maybe even Trap Trick Trap Hole Nightmare. Torrential's probably the better play, though. Morale Tech we're going to set up for a rank 5. Man, card D. Really being nuts. Bujin's in a very interesting position here. Extra Power knows he has some form of artifact shenanigans ready. And he is going to opt to go into the rank 4, I think. Pulse is going to hurt. And that is the wrong forbidden card that's going to stop this. And here it is. Is Extra Power going to use the hair now or later? I believe he wants to use it now so he can set up a potential Bujin Carnation. Not throwing shade, just wanted to talk a bit. Alright, what do you got? Oh, he still had to use the Honest. Was using the Honest now better than using the Crane? I feel like the Crane would have been the better call here. And that Call the Haunted gonna come right back in clutch. Of course the Haunted. And we're coming for massive damage here. And the Pleiades. Pleiades reusing the Call of the Haunted to prime it again for another pop. That's looking like it might be it for Bujins. Especially with the mill. The check 5 here. Probably going to add the artifact. Call the Haunted to hand? That's a hard add here. Yeah, Call the Haunted. Call the Haunted really being a powerful card this format. I believe that's going to be it. And here's our first attempt at Bujin Carnation. Your takes on every TCG lineup together in your recent video? Maybe great minds think alike. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed my new video talking about all the different TCGs, new TCGs, and how well they're going to perform. I really want most of them to do well, but I just don't have the full confidence that they will. That's a bit of an oof here. Bujin's getting blown out here. I like Extra Power's list. I just feel like he needs more Toxic Floodgates. I haven't seen him play a Kaiser Coliseum this event. Extra Power doing the very classic thing of playing a rogue deck and being salty at losing to the meta. I do that a lot too. Oh, that was an extra. Dueling Book lag. Alright. Baudrelli, and there's the Yamato. Not the greatest hand here. But it should still get some pretty insane value with Chain Whirlwind and Solemn Warning. Sending the hair. Now this is the full setup for Bujins here. What has he got? Eye of Justice Cycle Reader actually going to be huge in this matchup. Here in Italy, it's almost 0. What time is it there? For me, it's actually about 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. Let's see, that's about 16. As an American, I'm not too used to translating between military or European time. But yeah, it's still pretty... It's like afternoon over here. Oh, full artifact sanctum here from Tiger Soldier. Bujins are set up, but so is HAT. Alright. This is going to be huge depending on what he hits. Call the Haunted. Well, that is something. Chain Whirlwind going to double up here. Chain Whirlwind really proven itself as a really good staple this format. What numbers did he pick, and why does he keep getting 2? Gigantic hits here. That's going to more or less shut down HAT for a while. There is no main phase 2. So just to be clear, you're not scraping content for my group and Sultures. It's cool if you are. You just like, wow, okay. That is an accusation, dude. No, I don't even know who you are. I have not stolen content from you. I don't know what to say about that. That's a pretty bold claim. Do I sound like I'm being sarcastic? No, there's no sarcasm. I have not stolen content. I'm seeing a rank 4 play here. Going into Swasanoa, as you do with Bujins. I'm going to pop over the back row, probably. Is it face-up card? It is face-up card. Alright. So you're going to get rid of that Soul Morning. Tiger Soldier is going to need a bit of a top deck here off that Pot of Duality to really get over this Swasanoa. Not a lot of great targets here. Card D is probably the best thing he has. Even with full everything here, it's still going to take Bujins at least 2 turns to kill him. Card D for the top decks is best option. And let's see if he can get out of it here. Soul Charge is something. Soul Charge into a rank 5 is definitely something. You're saying all of our talk... Okay. I don't know. You're coming into my chat accusing me of stealing your content. I've never heard of you. I don't even know what group you're from. And you're saying all the talking points are nearly identical. I don't know what you want from me. Do you want to look at, like, my scripts to prove they're original? I don't know what you want. You've just come here with an ultimatum that I'm copying you, and I definitely haven't done that. Also interesting. I don't know. Look, dude, I haven't stolen your stuff. I don't know what else I can say to that. Now let's watch Bujin's continually kick the ass of Hat, because that's what I enjoy. Ooh, Kagasuchi. Kagasuchi really being one of the most underrated Bujin cards, and basically one of the only Bujin cards to still be played today. Very rough spot here from Tiger Soldier. We still have the soul charge for 2, but I'm fairly sure that's not going to be enough. Probably opting for a Pleiades, bounce back to Kagasuchi. Kagasuchi should only protect from destruction if I remember correctly. Yep. And we might have actually seen an out for this. That is pretty impressive. Probably going to normal summon Curry Bandit. Get gas for next turn. Takes on TCGs aren't copyrighted, and he also has the same thoughts of Monkey Fight TCG on card games. It's clear that the market is being saturated and can't have all those games. I mean, I first had the idea of talking about how many card games were on the market a while ago, back when Digimon released, and they just kept releasing more. And we've put Bujin's back on the defensive here. Great comeback from Tiger Soldier. Diane, is there anything for the Diane to revive? No, even with the Curry Bandit mill. Oh, there's the Plutonium. Gonna be crazy value going into next turn. Big whiff of damage here. Ooh. Bujin Carnation's gonna be nuts here. Duality not being a great top deck, but Bujin Carnation still being good, even through the back row. Yamato Quillen? Yep. The topic of there being too many card games existed also back in the days when there were way less card games out. Yeah, definitely. I do think the market is better equipped to handle it now, but I think there's still way too many. What is the best extra deck target here? He did bounce both of the previous rank 4s out. This is a surprisingly close spot here. I believe it's just Yamato. Straight to battle phase. Very bold. I'm not sure I agree with that, but it's definitely an interesting way to handle this. Extra power, taking it slow. Playing around every back row card here. Think them gonna try to go. Tank them popping Beagle or tank them for Beagle Tech, popping Morello. Breakthrough skill on the Beagle Tech. Bujin Kagasuchi really getting some usage out of those mills. Okay, we have a single bounce back from Constellar Poltomi here. Maybe he could go for Ally adjust his Cycle Reader back. Gonna get that Trap Tricks Morale. What Trap Hole has ever gone through? Only Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare. It's gonna be a Searcher Bottomless. Now, what is he gonna add back with the Constellar Potomi? That determines so much. Yugioh with retro formats being cheap and popular is going to make new card games much more difficult to thrive. People will play old Yu-Gi-Oh formats instead of new card games, just due to them being cheap. I agree halfway with that. At the end of the day, I think old Yu-Gi-Oh formats are still only going to appeal to people who like Yu-Gi-Oh. And a lot of people who play different card games just want different systems. Like, well, I think they both have a market, you know, a share of the market. I think they're different portions of the market they're gunning for. Cycle Reader. Alright, that's pretty based. Reusing Cycle Reader. What's his targets? Probably double hair. Does that have to be different cards? Nope. Then double hair. That's going to make his torrential absolutely terrifying. Bigger question is, what's the top deck going to be? Compulse. Make the game a bit more grindy here, but I'm not sure if it's a win or loss for anyone. Clearly I'm going to get the pop off. The best play for extra power here is just to swing directly and play around everything. Bujingi Crane. Out's the big guy here. Go to end phase, dump the third copy of Hair I Know He Runs. Or search another Crane, dump Compulse. That's a bold move. This hat format almost feels all identical mirror match with all these staple back rows being used. Very interesting. A bit. I mean, more or less every deck runs the same, like, limited blowout traps. It's just because they are so powerful. It's an interesting way to think about it. But I would say it's more like the same back row supporting different directions of strategies. Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic cover a large portion of what potential TCG players might be looking for. Old Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are cheap, Magic has multiplayer casual, and an okay competitive scene. To compete, new TCGs would need to be both super cheap and offer superb gameplay. That's what I thought the original Overdress was going for. Like, you play Overdress, it's one of the most fun casual games you can play. Like, that's really what makes it so special, even when compared to other games like Digimon or One Piece. Vanguard is the best casual game. Set 1 came out, it was a little expensive. Set 2, Set 2, 3, and 4 came out. They were really cheap for the most part. Like, the most expensive deck would be like $200, and that's if you're going all in with it, and you don't really need to do that. Now, with the way Overdress is, I think Youthbrick is like $800, and Chrono Jet's around $500. Absolutely insane what they've done with the game. And Overdress is really falling off competitively, or just in general due to how expensive it is. Because you can't have a casual-only game sell for, $500 for the best deck. Wow, we're going to see the Compulse. Oh, yeah, that's game. Turtle protects Turtle. Battle Spirit Saga seems interesting, and also Keyforge. The problem I have with Bandai, which published Battle Spirits, is they don't manage power creep well, though Saga looks cooler than original Battle Spirits. That's fair. Oh no. Tiger Soldier didn't realize that Bujinki is still a Bujin monster. Oof. That's going to be a game for Bujins then. Battle Saga looks really interesting. It has a lot of money behind the marketing. I'm just not seeing that marketing doing too well anyway. Like, a lot of people who are defending the marketing keep bringing up Pro ZD's, skit he did, which was sponsored by Battle Spirits. But most people I know who watch Pro ZD don't know what was sponsoring it because everyone tunes out the sponsorships. You'd have to do more to get the ball really rolling on that. Like, you look at the animations they're putting out for Battle Spirits. Those are really high-value productions. But the video wasn't getting as many views as it definitely should. I don't know. I want to be wrong about Battle Spirits. The gameplay is really good. So, I don't know. Tiger Soldier being a little upset about Bujins, which is fair. So is everyone. Pretty solid hand here from Extra Power, but Double Artifact Sanctum's probably going to give the Double DD Crow a run for its money. Another thought about power creeping in Bandai games. A friend of mine, Huang Zero, one of the best Digimon players. Every time I talk to him about Digimon, he maintains power creep isn't really a thing, and that it power creeps horizontally, not vertically. But man, every few months when I try to get back into the game, Digimon, it's just a completely new meta. Whatever new mechanic is introduced, it's taken over. Like X Overdress, power creep the previous stuff. Man, there's so many mechanics that just are insane power creep. Up, and we see the Yamato with the Tinky. The problem is, will Tinky resolve? Probably. Might be an odd question, but why do you refer to Cardfight Vanguard as Overdress? Isn't Overdress just the name of the anime? Well, no. So there are three different formats of Vanguard, like the game. There's Premium, which is everything since the release of history. There's V Series, which is refers specifically to the format that came out after the original anime and before the new one, before Overdress. Why are we normal Summerlin Turtle? Is this some BM? But Overdress is specifically to the newest series of Vanguard cards. It's a reboot. It was a reboot of the entire game. So Overdress is just the new cards. It started with the set Genesis of the Great or the Five Greats. So it's like its own thing, basically. And if you're wondering why people are so mad at Vanguard, the fact that we've rebooted for a second time is one of them. One of the biggest reasons. Thank you, Alan, for subscribing. DD Crow on that artifact morale attack. That's pretty big. It's going to be denying a potential Call the Haunted play. Which he did not draw this time, but it's good future proofing. Man, Bujin Turtle is out for blood. And there's nothing he can do except let this turtle just slowly walk up and destroy that trap hole. Solid morning set too. Dionea going to be getting some value, but he's opting not to use the Dionea here. Interesting. I think the best option is card D. There's definitely a call or some pretty good reasoning to add Artifact Ignition. Going for that card D. It's a very risky business though to grind against Bujins. Hello, Dark Knight. Thanks for checking out the stream. We're in a really fun and tight game against with Bujins versus Hat. And Bujin's really grinding up a storm here. So an attempt to develop into the Yamato. Yamato getting banished immediately. Is Bujin a good deck? In Hat format, yeah. They are probably one of the best stall and stun decks this format. Like, outside of, like, I don't know, the other options aren't good, basically. So the deck is very good. The only problem with Bujins is they do really want to go first. And they can struggle a lot if not. And Hat is probably the better deck here. As we're about to see. DD Crow and Mermails. That's going to be a lot of damage here, although I don't quite think that adds up to game. Alright. Bujin is tier 2 in Hat. Tier 1 in Vegas and Fire and Water. Agree 100%. Ooh, that Pleiades is going to be pretty devastating here. We're going to need one very good top deck from Extra Power to come back out of this. And I'm not quite sure a Breakthrough Skill is it. I think that's game. And Faye is going to get rid of that back row. Extra Power appears to be bluffing into some sort of honest. Do you play a game called Duel Links? I have not played Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links since very early on in like Sylvan format. I had a lot of trouble keeping up with the game as a free-to-play player. And that's a scoop from Extra Power. What a close game for Bujins. Really insane. BMD versus... Next game here. Hold on just a second. The sound is still going from the previous game. I need to actually probably... Binky versus BMWs. I believe this is... Yeah, this is pretty... This will be a fun game. Mermails versus Geargia. Going to see a very... Ooh, into the early on Maxi. Not sure if that's the best time to use it, but it is a draw one at least. Very difficult call to waste Maxi that early. The Balenciaga? Gonna get that pop in a search. Sorry, just a search, no face-up cards. That's gonna hurt quite a lot. That solemn warning there. Yeah, they should still dissolve Engrave. Is Lightsworn better than Bujin's? I think so. I think Lightsworns are kind of nuts this format. I just don't feel like Lightsworns are better than Cat, Geargia, and Geargia. I do cope a bit for Lightsworns, though, so take my bias into account there. Trapstun not gonna do a whole lot here against Mermails. Maybe stop a Stray Abyss Spear. Ooh. Wiretap being useful. If you want to play Lightsworn in this format, you should be able to check in the HAT format Discord. And there are several lists from previous topping players. Blab, who is also in this event playing Lightsworn, has a really good list for Chaosworn. Very powerful, very explosive list. If you like Lightsworn, that's how I would recommend playing them competitively. But just going full JD Turbo is also really good this format. So what about Lunalight? Lunalight are not in this format. In modern day Yu-Gi-Oh, Lunalight are pretty decent. They need Tiger at more than one. Lunalight still work pretty well with Tri-Brigade. I can imagine if Lunalights were legal. So despite what the board is telling you right now, pendulums are not in HAT format. HAT format is the last format before pendulums were released into the game. It's actually... Well, that title off the bat is pretty good. No Maxi on the special, though. We're just going to go for the Abyssal set. Yep. 2 Maxis. Torrential going to be doing a lot this game. Now, why are we setting the MST? No problem, Dark Knight. I don't mind answering questions about HAT format. It's a really cool format to learn about. Alright, Dark Knight, thanks for stopping by. Alright. Seeing Mermails start to develop here. Not the 4 developing, but pretty solid. Gonna save that soul charge for a later hand. Ooh, Dark Hole right now. Off the top. Abyssal End will get value here. Not sure how I feel about that Max C call. What do I think is the best deck in Hat? It's probably Cat. Card D, Artifact, Trap Tricks. It's really nuts. Like, it just has everything. It does take a bit of a good player to really make it shine. But man, going first, setting 6, you know, or setting 5, normaling more mellow, really hard to deal with. Second best, it's probably Geargia. Which variant of Geargia, though, is a tough question. I don't think it's Karakuri Geargia, too bricky. Maybe Hand Geargia. Outside of that, what else is in top 3? I have a tier list on my website, which after this game we can look at, and that showed my thoughts pretty clearly. But basically, the Hat and Geargia variants are at the top. Mermails and Sylvans are up there. I think Sylvans edge out Mermails, but no one wants to play them because it's on Dueling Book. And then I would say Lightsworns. And I think I'd put Spellbooks a bit higher than most people. I think they're really good. Being just an infinite grind engine of non-targeting Vanish removal. You won a regional in Hat format with Bujin in 2014? That's really cool. Man, the amount of people with good memories from Hat format makes me so happy. Definitely their favorite time in the game's lifespan. That's just how everyone feels. It's such a cool, dynamic, and back and forth format. It just highlights perfectly like what the middle age of Yu-Gi-Oh is all about. Dynamically using back row. Some engines, but not like crazy modern engines. And still getting to see some very powerful, you know, blowout cards. Like Soul Charge, which we're about to see how not okay it is. It was the X regional they scheduled in Michigan because Nats was in Detroit that year. Interesting. I'm going to see the Abyss Spike. Abyss Spike can only dump Abyss of Malago. You still have the Bujin mat you got as my prize. Oh man, I'm so jealous. It's such a good mat. I've seen the Bujin mat. I love how they give out mats as prizes. Don't think that should be the only prize, but I'm jealous of everyone who has one. I'm bad at Yu-Gi-Oh! And only play rogue decks in major tournaments, so I don't get those mats. Reminds me of a story when I tied 7 games in a regionals during ABC format with Hat, or with not Hat, sorry, with Ghost Tricks. Basically, since Terror Top was legal, you could set up Ghost Trick Neko Musume very consistently turn 1. So all the ABC players would just normal summon and have their, you know, pieces get flipped face down. And then when they tried to do it again, I had multiple people get confused as to why Neko Musume wasn't once per turn. Amazing memory. Ooh. Exiton. Good call here. It will be getting rid of the Trapstone, but it's not like Trapstone was going to do anything anyway. Why did Maxi get banned in the TCG and not the OCG? TCG... Okay, OCG is weird. OCG... Hold on just a second. I gotta... Sorry, a second. OCG players like more control and slow game styles, And Maxi is really conducive to that. TCG players are a lot more toxic and aggressive, and generally a lot more mean with their gameplay styles. So Maxi was way more brutal there. Honestly, I think Maxi could come back to the game. I'm incredibly neutral to its existence. It's a weird question, though. Just a different, design philosophy from the people in charge of the TCG ban list. That is a soul drain. That's going to be very problematic for Mermails to deal with. He was going to get the search. I think probably his best option here is the normal Gen X controller. Go for a Synchro Summon in the Leo. But you can see, even though in this format with Maxi is legal, how crazy it is. The only thing stopping the card from being objectively the best 3 of in the game is how some decks like Hat and Cat can just play around it perfectly. We're just really taking it slow. Be very careful setting up a board here. I wouldn't want Exiton to pop it all again. Is he just not running the Synchro? Interesting. Really? Not the Soul Drain. Oh, Dust Tornado. Never mind. Huh. He's not going to set the Torrential Tribute off of it? Why not? What a good dismantling of the board from BMWs here. Of course, Bink will just hit right... No targets? No, no thinking. Geargia Arsenal, we're going to be cautious about this. Torrential Tribute. BMW's trying to go to the top deck war, which he's confident he'll win. I'm not too sure about that, because we have the Geargia gear on the end phase. I don't quite believe that's game. Actually, no, that's game. Wow, what a good back and forth game there. Alright, now we're going to see Swagger versus Jace back for round 5. And it appears to be Geargia's. Yeah, I was right, Geargia's. Versus Mermails. You can always tell it's Geargia's because Geargia's like to run wire tap. Yeah. Sorry. Word vomit there. Geargia's like to run wire tap, and that's something no other deck really does. But it's such a staple in Geargia list. I'm going to start out here with the Gen X Undying. Go for the pop-in search. Very solid spot here. Maxi is going to hurt a bit. Letting Mermails build up a full hand is very dangerous. Especially with 2 Abyss Spear set. Wiretap being absolutely insane. But I'm not quite sure what that's going to do about the second one. Which is very upsetting for Jays to deal with here. Maxi is going to fetch him a clean draw too. It's quite interesting that in HAT, Geargia becomes much better, since it can deal well with hands. While in Vegas format, the deck struggles against decks like Black Wings, Gadgets, or even more Frog Monarchs. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yugioh very much is, in some ways, an anti-meta pick versus the AT decks. Really taking advantage of the slower pace of this format. Ooh. Pretty funky plays here. I believe we're going to be winding up for a massive soul charge here from Mermails. All 3 Genix controllers in hand here. Now, my opinion, best play here, normal summon Genix controller, synchro summon for Black Rose, attempt to blow up the field. I don't think it's going to work, but it would be really funny. Now, the card, a bit of a smarter play here, but still going to get beaten by the back row all the same. You mentioned that Vanguard Overdress is one of the most fun TCGs to play casually. How much would it cost to build 2 decent casual decks? In Yu-Gi-Oh! You can build an okayish Adamantipator and Virtual deck for around 60 each. Roughly the same in Magic. It depends on what you want for Vanguard. If you're dodging an anime, like one that's like Dragonic Overlord, you should be able to get a casual deck for like less than $20. Especially if you ignore triggers, or most of the effect like crit triggers. The problem is, as soon as you start to get... So that game has a massive issue with competitive staples. Things like Brainwash Swirler, Inlet Pulse Dragon, go for around like $40 to $50 when they shouldn't be at all. So if you can dodge one of the decks that needs those competitive staples, you should be able to get a deck for anywhere from $20 to $40. Most of the Lyrical Monasterio decks, if you ignore one particular card, go for in the $30 range. And they're really fun to play. Even if a lot of them are mediocre competitively. Overdress is good. You just have to avoid a lot. You also have to avoid any deck with promos, because Bushiroad is a, Overdress is a promo game, and they release staple cards that decks have to run 4 of or they can't play at all. And those promo cards go for crazy amounts of money. But yeah, there are decks you could look into that are pretty cheap. Right, now we're going to see an attempted play here from Geargia. Geargia has a lot to go into, having to deal with both a Mech-equipped Engineer and a fairly stacked hand next turn, which is just 3 Genix controller, but trust me, pretty big. And we're seeing the first rank 4. Personally, I would have searched a Geargia Accelerator from the deck to really set up for a Soul Charge later. Is there a database like YGO Pro Deck for Vanguard, which I can browse through deck list? Kind of. I have a... Okay, the one I Let me post it in the... I actually do have a pretty good one. Let me just post this in the chat here. This is a very good website for English top decks. And I have one for Japanese top decks too. It's not as good as Yugioh Pro, but it is still a pretty good compilation of deck lists. That's Silent Honor doing pretty big stuff here. Geargias have come back a bit. Right, and here's the second website you can use. Mermails going to have to do a bit of work to come back out of this. The Abyssus with an infantry live is pretty good. Although I can quite... Alright. You're about to do them. Don't want to distract more from the Yugioh matches. But don't worry about it too much. I love getting more people to play card games. Geargia X not tripping. No level 3s in grave. Unfortunate. Jay's back having the differential here because he's scared of the Leo, which is very fair. Leo is a very hard card to out. And here comes another Gear Giant X loop. Gear on Mark 2. Not sure I agree with that. I think he could have pushed for Gabe if he made, like, Black Ship of Corn here. Yeah, definitely. He had game if he made Black Ship of Corn. His board is outable to a Dark Hole. Alright. Interesting. We're here trying to progress into an Abyss Stirge. Sending Tidal. We're going to see a rank 7. Don't think a rank 7 saves him here, but I think it gets him on the path to recovering. Big Eye. Complete steal until not end of turn. Denying him the face down. Gonna get breakthrough skilled though. I believe that's gonna be... Ah, the level 4 and level 3 on the field is very awkward. Jay's definitely misplayed here. He should have game, but he can't get over the Big Eye. He's going to have to beat over his own guy. Or self-destruct his own guy to do something here. That's very sad to see. Direwolf, though. Yep, wind up Masters in mains. And the Giant Hand. And I believe that's it from Swagger here. I don't think there's anything he can really do to solve this problem. I think we're going to see an attempted Leo. No, we're gonna do for an Abyss Linde play. Abyss Lind. All being over Giant Hand. And let's see what he can pull out of the deck with Abyss Lind. Ooh, quite big. And we're just gonna attempt to kill Geargios with just really large numbers. Huh. The play here is definitely the Dark Hole. Giant X triggers. And I do believe that's gonna... Wow, this game has stalled out, and I don't think it should have done that. Alright, interesting. Trying to out his own vanities. For some reason. What is Swagger's play here? You can't get the Abyss and Malago on the field, but he can get Tidal back again. Zanam? Zemains, no? Maybe. That's the play. I think negation effects on spell and traps are fine. It's on monsters that make it boring. Too consistent, uncreative. HAT format captures the balance very well with that. That's a fair point. I don't mind monster negates. You know, like a crazy number of negates in general. I just think the tools around it need to adapt. Like, I think we were getting there with, like, Despia/Engine format before. Unfortunate that Power of the Elements came out, but it is what it is. Alright, and we're going to see the Leo. Leo being one of the best cards synchros this format. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, except during your main phase too. It's going to be very hard to out here. Jay's back doing a titanic misplay into a board presence by Swagger. Talking about the Dark Hole turn. Zinmains would have had to pop emptiness during the end phase. Oh, you're right. That is a misplay. Dang. Oof. Alright, Yugioh trying to live a bit more. Are we gonna... Oh no. Wow, that was something. I hate to say it, but I think Jay did that to himself. It do be like that sometimes. It really do. At least that was a very interesting game. Not the best opening hand here for Geargia. Max C can do something. At least. Abyss Spike? Breakthrough skill. We're just going to slow him down. Unfortunately, Geargias do not have an engine together, so this is going to be very awkward. Abyss is going to get some value. On the Maxi, though. Switch another copy of the Abyss Spike. Swagger here's developing a Mermail board. Doing what Mermails do. Zinmails can pop on either side. Jay destroyed their Phoenix chain to leave emptiness up. Oh yeah. That is exactly... That makes more sense now. Good catch, Skit Zrain. I can't pronounce names. I'm so sorry. Hand, that is a play at least. Let's see. Does Geargia Mark II summon from hand? It does. You could try to go into a rank 3 here. I think he has the better call. Just trying to stall with the hand. It's going to be the last time he can use Undying, because he already has 3 Gen X controller in hand. Developing in the title beatdown. And we get to see the hands come into play. Interesting call here. Suppose there's no downside to setting Yugioh when we have Yugioh Mark II in hand. Oh, the Abyss Lunde normal. Bold move attacking into a Geargia face down. It is going to pay off, though. A lot of MSTs. Soul Charge. Alright. There's only one acceptable option when top decking a Soul Charge, and that's to immediately play it. Luckily, Jay does have the Maxi. It's the only thing that's going to be holding him on with this crazy board that's going to come from this. Swagger probably opting for at least a rank 7 here. Oh, that is a Silent Honor Rock, sir. I can agree with the big guy. Remove the hand. Very decent play here. Surprisingly, Jay doesn't have the best follow-ups here. He's going to have to go into traps. Abyss Dweller being a really questionable play to make. Swagger topping into another Soul Charge. Big guy just going to steal that Zen mains. Most likely. Getting immediately breakthrough skilled. Abyss Dweller triggering. Ted Marksman to hand with Dragoons. We can see a rank 3. Alucard, gonna start eating away at that back row. Soul Charge into Solemn Warning. Does Soul Warning negate the activation? It does negate the activation. I believe that means Swagger still has a battle phase. which is very big here. I don't know if Swagger knows that, though. And he definitely does. Very well played by Swagger. Really showing off the full scope of the Mermail extra deck. Doing some pretty good comebacks on games that really shouldn't have been comebackable. Right, here's our next game. Molson versus Spore. This is another game basically in what's in first place. We're seeing another game of Cat versus Mermails. Soul Charge is clutch. Clutch fun is hard. It depends on how it's used. There are some decks like Light Swords where I would not describe Soul Charge as being fun. Not. Soul Charge is a really unique part of the format that adds so much dynamic gameplay to it. Very good start here from Molson. Gonna play into the Abystus. Popping a set card. Now what set card does he hit? Wiretap. And here we... Ooh. Very clever play here, using the Max C to turn off a potential rank 5. It's not going to get too much, though, because Hat can just play around it. Using a Pot Duality to go into Mermello to search a Bottomless. Absolute crazy, like, levels of disruption here. What do you do about that? Daze is good. Abyss Sturge. Good summon here. Getting another proc off of Marksman. Marksman being one of the best cards in Mermails this format. Gonna loop another copy of Marksman. I'm going to just start trying to get as much value as we can here. Another Pot of Duality. Molson really just getting to choose what he wants in his hand. Very hard for any player to deal with that. Especially against such a skilled player as Molson. Spore's not out of it, but it's not going to be easy to come out of it either. Or to come back into it. You're just going to go to battle phase. And that Solemn Warning being devastating. Genetic Sundying is a good top deck, though. I believe we're just going to see some good old-fashioned beatdown here. Problem is Molson preempted this and already had a black hole or dark hole ready. I wish White Hole was a good trap card. Going to rank 3. Mech equipped Engineering. Play a little bit defensively. Another trigger of Tidal. Gonna get a pop of Marksman. Sending Abyss Lead. We are really just doing a number on Molson's back row. That's not what we like to see here. A lot of setup for Molson, but not a lot of payoff. Traptrix dying A is something. But Spore was already ready with the Max C. Equipment Engineer just going to make it lose target. Molson not in the worst spot ever. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, no, he can't. It wasn't special on this turn. Definitely going to need to use Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare now. Oh. Actually fine with that discard. I do think that's game, though. He definitely should have used the Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare just because he needed to destroy it. Get the damage off the board. See some really good Mermail players this round. Yeah, Molson misplayed quite a bit. Traptrix are mellow. Not the largest amount of disruption, but not a bad one either. Bottomless is nuts. No, we're getting rid of that breakthrough skill. I'm getting that double cyclone here. Gonna develop into... Oh! Call the Haunted proving itself as a very... Who's your favorite to win this whole championship? Alright. My bet is on Tiger Soldier. Alright. I think he's going to sneak his way into the top 8 and sneak out a win here. Look, he already beat Ultra Plant. He's got it. Very strong play here, or very strong board here. Abyss Dweller into 3 valid back row. Into a debunk. Yeah. Not looking good for Mermails. Not really sure what top deck hits Spore out of this, but I don't know if that's it. Haunted coming back with the Mellow to pop a back row. That was a pretty brutal game there at the end. Cat really just choking the life out of Mermails with so many back row negates and Abyss Dweller. That is a hand for Mermails. Like, out of everything, that is definitely a hand. One of the hands of all time. Bold move not to set the Mystical Space Typhoon against Hat going first. Let's not tell anyone about this game. About that. Hello, Dark Knight. Thanks for coming back to the stream. Abyssphere gonna immediately get max seed on. With no Mermails or no waters in hand, he can't go into the usual setup plays. Oof. Things are leaning towards Molson here. But it's definitely very close either way. They're still going to attempt to beat over Morale Attack. Interesting that Molson here isn't going to opt to use the Artifact Ignition on the Spear. I'm wondering a bit what his thought process is. Missile End Effect? He has to be very careful with what he pulls out of deck here. Geargia Sundyne, not a bad call at all. Still getting rid of that bottomless. He had a 1 in 2 chance, and he got it. Undying for title. Very powerful stuff. Ooh, DD Crawl on that title. Call gonna attempt to pop. And I'm gonna see that torrential board clear. A very even game state. Ooh, that's rough. Artifact Sanctum gonna put a damper on anything Spore would try to do here. Spore probably just gonna have to opt to very slowly grind his way out of this. Very clean hit here. Beagle Tech gonna get Morale Tech, set up for that rank 5 play. It's gonna be very hard to deal with Spore. And we're going into Zamayo for the complete board wipe. Spore having the breakthrough skill here. No better options. Abyss Spike, Abyss Malaga. I believe there's several things you can do here. Genex Sundyne. Nope, he's just going to have to take it slow and hope he can get out of this before he dies. I'll be curious as to why no Call the Haunted Revive Morale Attack start really going in here. We're clearing the first wave of stuff. Oh, and that's a problem. That is another rank 5. Even with the breakthrough skill. Oh, Dianea off the top. That's gonna hurt for Spore. Going into that Abyss Realm to shut down any potential plays Spore might have. Preemptively Abyss Dwelling there, so we can play around Abyssland. Very, very good game there. Here's our next game. Which I believe we've already done this one. Let me just fast forward a bit. Yes, we have done this one before. Sorry about that. Now we get to go into our first game, our first two games of round 6. We have been really going through these games here. Poison Hat versus Spore. And it's that really exciting deck from Poison Hat here. Training the Kago to Kage. Wow, what an opening play. King of the Fair Lamps, we're just setting up. Man, Poison Hat really out here having the absolute best deck this whole event. Spore, if he wants to continue to play through this, has to make a very risky play with Allure of Darkness, which he's opting not to do. Probably smart. Ooh, and here's the Soul Charge. I believe we're going to get to see the rank up Numeron Force. Playing through the Torrential, not much you can do about that. End of main. Alright, and what a good top deck here from Spore. Gonna want to see a negate here, which unfortunately there's Poison Hat just does not have access to it. Poison Hat gonna opt to Maxi on that. Slow down the turn. Bottomless Trap Hole. Unfortunate. Lavavel Chain. Haven't seen Mermails make Lavavel Chain yet, but it is something you have to remember. Every deck has access to Lavavel Chain. Such an insane card. So we're trying to go for game here, and it looks like it would almost be the correct call if Poison did not have the Call of the Haunted ready. Question is, can Poison Hat get enough value here to just delete him? With the Rank Up Magic Numeron Force, I believe he can. Interesting. Rank Up Magic Numeron Force going into C101. C101, Silent Honor Dark, says once per turn you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls, attach it to this card as a material. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard while it has a material, you can special summon this card from your graveyard to gain life points equal to the original attack of this card. Honor Dark is nuts. It does not have the restriction of the original Silent Honor arc of having it having to be in attack position. And it basically lets you get another eat off of C1 or off of 101. Man. And it just keeps coming back. You have to deal. You have to deal with it. If... Ooh. Man. Rank ups are terrifying. You have to deal... Like... You have to either prevent them from happening, or they get so much value. Interesting hand here for Poison Hat. Hopefully you can get a good top deck to save this. I know I'm being a little bit biased here, but it's kind of hard not to be when, you know, one player is playing rank ups. Just love everything XYZ. Yeah, XYZs are probably one of the best additions in terms of new mechanics. Like, I like links. I think they're very cool, and they add a lot of, you know, new room for game design. But XYZs really are just perfect in how they work. Especially during this format when they get to be such unique toolboxes. Really good setup turn here from Spore. Why is Mermail running a lure? So, Genix Undying is able to search, I forget its name, but it's the level 3 normal monster. It is a dark. So you can run a lure on its Genix controller. You manage the controller for advantage. Genix Undying is something you play just to dump a Mermail. It's really good. Exiton, alright. Exiton is going to be fully live, and there's nothing he can do about it. Great opening play from Poison Hat here. And we're going to negate the Abyssland with the Skullmeister. Setting a bottomless trap hole. Spore having the MST ready and following up with a Soul Charge. Poison, you should have YOLO'd C101 there. That's a fair call. I like the Exiton Knight. You couldn't have known he had Soul Charge in hand. And even if this game goes south, you still have game 3. See the rank 4. Silent Orc. Eat a... Yeah. Then we're going to see a rank 7. Oh, no. To see if... Is that live? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it is live. Oof. That's unfortunate. Balenciaga will just kill you here. Honestly, I thought you would have gone into the rank up magic of Rhapsody and Berserk. Is this game? Yeah, that was game. Poison having a very good opening here. A bit slow with the gadgets, but not at all. Not at all the end of things. And here's a question for you, Poison. Do you max out on 3 of each of the gadgets? Or do you run more of like green? Love Skullmeister kind of overshadowed by DD Crow, unfortunately. I agree. I think DD Crow is better, but Skullmeister is another one you can run, which is a fair call. Oh. And Maxi. That's pretty powerful. Two of each. Okay. That's about what I thought, but... running 2 of any... Or running any of the gadgets, man, is such a cool play. That Maxi and the DD Crow there really just lets you do some shenanigans here. It's too bad you don't have a rank up spell, but what can you do about that? Did you just run get? Yeah, I think you did. Oof. It doesn't really change that much. It's not like any of the gadgets can attack over. And we're just going to go into the Abyss Dweller to stall here. Gonna train Abyss Dweller. Oh. FTR, this game was irrelevant because we're both in top 8 already. Fair enough. Look, I just want to see more gadget gameplay. Man, Poison, I really do hope you win the event. I'm just surprised Gadgets hasn't stopped working yet. It's just it's such a cool deck. Kage. Gadgets just being such value. My question, what rank 4 do you make here? Bold move to summon it now. You risk whatever it is getting hit by removal. Oh, that's a good... I see. You wanted to go into heaven. Oh. Very sad. Yeah, you saw, like, all of your gadgets. Yeah, no, you saw all of the gadgets. And I don't think that's what you want to do. I think I have one more game. The only punish was heavy infantry in hand, which he sadly drew. Yeah, he had it. It was kind of nuts. Oh, before I move on to the next game, I want to thank Snaffs from the Hat Format Discord server for helping me get these replays so we can all watch them. Definitely could not do this stream without him. And the Hat Format Discord as a whole. Which, if you want to get into the next event, which is the Morale Tech Monthly, make sure to join the Hat Format Discord. Everyone there would love to have you have more players play. And I'll probably be joining the next one. Friends, I have a Yu-Gi-Oh draft core cube in which we also put the gadgets. Such a versatile engine. Gadgets are really cool, yeah. D-Crusher Yu-Gi-Oh versus Ultra Plant. And this is a cat mirror match. This is a bit of a hard question. Probably Call of the Haunted. Maybe Sanctum. In this mirror match, actually Ignition, yeah. Feels bad when you say 2 out of 3 options and still get it wrong. Very tough to go second into this. Especially when your deck is based around back row. Compulse probably being the best option here. I'm not sure I like any of these. Maxi to try to stop artifact shenanigans. Oh. I think I'm gonna... That was something. D-Crusher Yu-Gi-Oh! Definitely in the better spot after that. But since Cat is such a slow deck, I believe Ultra Plant is still fine. Torrential, maybe? Nope. Wow, I'm just whiffing every one of these calls. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dueling Book. Probably just going to see the card D from Ultraplane. Ooh. Are we just going to blow up the card D? Yeah, we are. Breakthrough skill. Breakthrough skill being such a good option in every matchup. Being an offensive negate that turns into a defensive negate later. Very quick turnaround for Ultraplant. I think he could have grinded that out quite a bit. Strong opening hand from Ultraplant here. Okay, let me get this one. He's going to add breakthrough skill. Come on. There's no way he's grinding that out. What? I think he could have. Hat format is surprisingly comebackable, and I've seen some players come back from worse games. I don't think it was going to be easy. And Vegas format, 60-card gadget won a tournament. That's hype. I would love to see that list. Gadget's still funny in Hat, though. Gadget's funny in every format it is. Can we imagine if we gave a Gadget's gold and silver gadget in this format? I say that, but it'd just be used in Geargia. Right, we're banning that bot. Just more of them. And we're seeing another blowout here. With a whole bunch of spell and trap disruptions. Or spell and trap removals. Going right back against each other. Oh my god, it just keeps going. Alright. Ooh. Okay. Ultraplant definitely coming into the advantage here. With such powerful back row, bottomless, call, and compulse. Let's see. Just a Mermails engrave. That Mermails with call is really scary for D-Crusher. But Ultraplant not opting not to set anything. Mermails, I don't believe has any search targets here. But it is still a rank 4, which is something. Ultraplant opting to play around the potential back row and just go face. So maybe what Ultraplant is doing with not setting anything is playing around cards like Double Cyclone that need to target a spell or trap the opponent controls to use. D-Crusher getting rid of the breakthrough skill so he can set Call the Haunted. Pretty good call. Are we going to see the call here? And he has to call the Haunted here. No, the situation when the Geargia was not setting things was a bit different. I think personally. I know earlier, yeah. It just seemed like the wrong call because, unlike in a Ultra Plant scenario, where Ultra Plant's back row is mostly just, you know, removal and disruptions, Geargias need a lot of their back row, like Gear, to progress their game state. So I think it was just the wrong call. But honestly, I think it is just a matter of perspective. What I think of it being the wrong play might just be the right play in the situation. Ultra Plant now opting to commit. We're going to see the double Cyclones pop each other? Yeah, we are. You'll take a hit. Huh. Ooh. Alright. And we have moved into the top deck wars, which Ultra Plant is about to win because he already has a Soul Charge in hand. Gotta risk it. What's the back row? Trap Trick, Trap Hole, Nightmare? I think Ultra Plant's fine here. If he goes for all three... No double Cyclone, yeah. I believe one of the Trap Hole Nightmare should still be used on one of them. And Black Shipacorn for game. Well, we're going into game 3 here. D-Crusher's going first. And let's see what that top deck is. Breakthrough skill. Solid enough for Hat. Setting 5 and passing. I would not let this resolve personally. And neither is D-Crusher. So he's going to Artifact Sanctum. I'm going to start putting pressure on Ultra Plant. Ooh, Cycle Reader. Gonna set the Chain Whirler, and we've already set everything else. I don't know if I agree with Mind Control as a bait here. Diane is going to be pretty big, but I don't think it plays around any of this back row. Ooh. Another double Cyclone. Ultra Plant is making those moves. And he's not super scared of artifacts because he's ally of just the Cycle Reader in hand. No effect. Alright. Mind control for that rank 5. That's, it's on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Vegas format forum, the 60 card gadget list. I'll have to look that out later. Thank you, man. Artifacts can't be summoned on your turn. That's a fair point, too. Yeah, no, I know what the artifact cards do. I just didn't make a lot of sense to not set things then. Ooh, a Terrace. Oh. He really should develop into the Dianea here. That's fine. Things are not looking good for D-Crusher here. I think that is game. Yep. Well, this has been really fun looking through all these games with you guys. That is all the games I have today. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll see you next time. We'll probably be covering the top 8 then. Maybe a few games we've missed from round 6. I'll see you guys next time. Oh yeah, and don't forget to check out my newest video about how all the new different card games are going to affect the market.